What advancements, if any, has Muslims made when it comes to modern technology? Did we invent the robot? Did Muslims have anything to do with modern technology at all? What about mathematics? Did we make any advancements in mathematics? How about the automobile? Well, many Muslims ask questions such as these all the time. What advancements, if any, have we made when it comes to modern technology? Join us every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as Brother Muhammad Durgana speaks about the architecture blueprint of the modern era. You do not want to miss this series. Can you guys hear me on YouTube now? Is there anyone on YouTube? Can someone please join YouTube and let me know, can you hear me? Because no one's on YouTube. AWA, get on YouTube. Let me join the phone. Oh, Lord, have a mercy. Layla's got to do it all herself. Cancel it. Oh. Testing. I can hear me. Okay, thank you, Brother Ahmad. So you can hear me. My sound is good. Testing. I can hear me. Okay, thank you. I don't know where they are that they're not on YouTube. Stress Layla out. Okay, Inel Alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa Rasulullah. We're working here. Where's Brother Yusuf? Is he in the Zoom room? Because I can't see. I got the Zoom room closed up. Is anybody in Zoom? Here. Oh, there he is. Okay, good. MashaAllah. Brother Yusuf, turn your camera on. Because I can't see. Oh, we're doing it from here now? Yeah, they fixed it. Can you believe it? They found it looks like. Oh, ugly not, because it's like last couple times no one could hear me when I did the questions, so I just had to sign off and get out. Usually there's more comments and stuff, but I can't read them. I'm thinking about getting a webcam, just using my laptop. I can't even read the questions. They're too small on the phone. Yeah, well, this is cool. This, like I said, it's been working today, and it was worked yesterday and a day. So I guess they fixed it. I kind of welcome it back to everybody likes the, because this is what makes us unique, is the interaction with the voice. You can do absolutely. Yeah, this is what makes us unique. Where everybody uses a streaming program, but nobody has interaction like we do. So yeah, turn your camera so they can see us together. Do I have a moderator in there? Yeah, I guess so. They won't talk. Y'all got to interact. Let me know. Oh, there they go. Everybody see us? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's Brother Yusef. He's back. Yeah, one thing though you can work on doing with your camera there, putting a background. See how I have a background, and that's the wrong background for the day. But yeah, we have the Q&A, so that's okay. You can just always upload
as much as I know in my things that I do, I am technologically not the most sound of people. Like I just have never gotten into. I'm sure it's easy.
You can do it on your Zoom. In fact, on Zoom, can y'all walk him through it now so he can look professional like everybody else? Because you see how popular you become. You notice he's got more views than anybody, guys.
Not you. I don't have more views than you.
That's it. But that, hey, we're neck to, but that's it. You're neck to neck. Your people are.
I think you're way ahead of me, though, aren't you?
Yeah, but that's because of the main team. Sheikh, look who they calling him. They even calling him Sheikh. SubhanAllah.
I'm not a sheikh.
I know he's not. He's Zukov's brother Zukovsky, but that's good that you're popular. I want him to have a background. Can you click on it? Look right now. Can somebody guide him on YouTube?
Well, what we can do is next week I'll come on a bit earlier.
Yes, and we'll put your background because they look. They're telling me to give you salams. This is his name is Do you know him personally? Subhi Assam. He told me,
that's
please.
my nephew.
Oh, that's your nephew. He's cute too.
Yeah, I'm gonna wring his neck for announcing himself here.
Look at him. Look, can you see his picture? Oh, you were in Zoom.
No,
he can't. He's a handsome fella. He's got a beard.
Oh, he is a well, he's a future scholar on his way. That young man.
Oh, he's handsome.
I carried him in my arms, and now he's out there leading Salah, doing all kinds of other amazing things. So.
Well, mashallah, we're proud of you, little brother. You're a handsome little fella. You know, mashallah, may Allah bless you, and may He give you success in all your endeavors. And try to get the people to come here. Your uncle has become very popular here because he keeps the news real. The people really enjoy.
He lives in Saudi. He was born and raised there.
Oh, good.
Palestinian, Syrian nationality or origin.
Oh, great. My nephew, my sister-in-law is Palestinian, so my little nephew's he's Egyptian Palestinian. Mashallah. Well, I'm proud of you for trying to keep the Islam learned religion and keep it real there. Mashallah.
Yeah, he's 20 right now. He's already memorized the Quran.
That's good. Well, that's great. He's a handsome little fella. Mashallah. Well, try to get the dawah. Try to get people to come and listen to your uncle because he's becoming pretty popular with his insights on what's happening in the world around here. He's running neck to neck. You got over 100-some views. That's good from last time. And your shorts are thousands. You're getting hundreds on YouTube, thousands on Instagram, thousands on TikTok. Oh, God, you're all over the place. SubhanAllah. Okay,
well, yeah, I mean, yeah. We got a big one today. What Sneako and Elon Musk, the presidents, are all in on this now. So we're going to discuss that, what happened last week.
Okay, guys, are y'all ready for it? I'm going to turn my camera off and turn this over to Brother Yusef. Yusef, hold on, let me get you because I'm so not used to working Zoom. Make you high screen here. There you go. Yeah, we got to get that background together for real, bro. Okay. Yeah. But you can go ahead and get started whenever you're ready. Go ahead.
All right. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. So usually what happens, and this is kind of like I'll be done with an episode, and I'll think about what am I going to cover next week, which direction we're going to go, what I have time to do, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just gives me something, usually almost the next day or the same day, about spring. One of the things I've really focused on off and on, the feminism, of course, has been a major theme here, the war on the family, the division, in Muslim 2.0. And we did a lot of stuff on Muslim 2.0. And for those of you who were not with us back then, I'm just going to give a very quick briefing. I did entire episodes on explaining what a Muslim 2.0 is. And a Muslim 2.0, I kind of talked about this over the past few weeks with Christianity and how we saw from the 1960s to 70s in the South. And he's going to be like, yeah, I had 18 girlfriends. I had this and that. He's committed zina left and right. And never once does he even think it's a sin. And that's what the shaitan does, is over time, they get you just to not even believe a sin is a sin anymore. And then you have whole generations of people who are living a life unfulfilled and never even questioning it. When I was growing up, to date a girl at 14 and not have intercourse with her, you were considered to be, what's wrong with that guy? Some problem with him. These were all Christian cultures I grew up with. I was raised in a Christian household, friends and family, the same thing. So Muslim 2.0 is basically that, because for years they've wanted to crack Islam. They saw Islam as being strict and tough because rephrase myself, because the Quran in the Muslim belief is literally the word, the speech, the eternal speech of the creator, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's more difficult to play around with than interpretations that can come from a text with anonymous authors, like you see with the New Testament, authorship that is unknown, inconsistent messaging, what's in the canon, what's not. They can't even agree on that. So with us, it was a little bit more difficult to play around with. So Muslim 2.0 started off I coined this phrase myself. I started noticing it around 2021. Andrew Tate came in, and obviously we had this series of very questionable conversions. Lots of new reverts were coming into the religion. And with it, they were bringing Muslim 2.0. It's okay to drink as a Muslim. It's okay to smoke. It's okay to have girls kissing behind you. These are just normal. You're modern. Let go of the past. And they don't want you or I. They don't want Sister Layla. They know they're not going to get us. We are adults. We're stubborn. We're set on our ways. They don't like that. They want your children. And that has been one of my underlying themes that I've covered here for quite some time. I broke down in that series that I had done about a year and a half ago, when I talked about the different types of the agents that you could spot and the characteristics of said agents. I talked first and foremost about the ones who are outright government agents. These are people that literally, oftentimes, they pop up out of nowhere. We're going to remember all these as I progress here today. They pop up out of nowhere. You don't know who they are. And then all of a sudden, they're big. They're everywhere. We have several of them. Andrew Tate, in many ways, was one of these such people. Now, he was a little bit more known overseas, but his ascendancy was not like a gradual incline. It was like this. Sneako, who we're going to be talking about tonight, because this is what happened, last week. You had this gentleman, the Warner, Sheikh Uthman. These are people, again, you know who they were. They shot up. Now, are all of them agents? No, we'll not go that far. Some of them, and the one we're going to cover tonight, I believe, have been planted here. I believe they have a clear mission. I'm going to outline exactly why that is. And we're going to match these things with reality. We're going to see, is the mission being accomplished? You have those types. You have other Muslims who are spreading distrust and spreading this, who are people who worked hard, built themselves up, and they're human. They're weak. They get seduced by the fame, the women, the notoriety, the popularity, all these things brings them in. They give in to sin, if you will. They go on dark paths. They branch off into different places that they shouldn't be. These people still in their hearts, are Muslims, but their actions oftentimes are not. And they still can be destructive, of course, but they're not consciously doing it. Then you have the third type, which is, I call it the conscious grifter. Now, a grifter is someone, this is as old as religion. Grifter has become a modern day slang term for someone who comes online in a social media platform, and they're here to make money off religion, off spirituality. They're here to take advantage of our charity, of our desire to do deeds pleasing to Allah. They're more than happy to take your money and direct you to causes, oftentimes fake causes, oftentimes straight to their pocket causes. That's a big group, as well. These are conscious people that are out there to do this. In fact, One of the largest religions in America is a religion called Scientology, founded by a gentleman by the name of L. Ron Hubbard. L. Ron Hubbard famously told people when he was growing up, he said, if you want to make money, start a religion and get tax-free status. And L. Ron Hubbard did just that. And he created an entire religion that was based on collecting money from people for his trainings and his services. You see it with the Christian televangelists, the guys that get on TV. I remember many years ago, there was a gentleman who went by the name of Benny Hinn. He was a former Palestinian who converted to Christianity, came to the West, and had his own show where he would touch people with the Holy Ghost, and they would shake and dance and go into convulsions, and he was healing them, like the stories in the New Testament. And you'd have to pay him money to come heal you, but he would come heal you for a price. And they used to do one thing where you would donate him money, and he would put your prayer in a big basket in the middle, and he would say a prayer over it. And he lectured before he would ask for the money that if you have more people agreeing to your prayer, that you would get more likely God would answer your prayer. So this grifting in religion is nothing new. The Christians have mastered it in this country. And they used to have Trinity Broadcasting, which was nothing but a nonstop 24/7 grift. Now, in Islamic countries, the Muslim grift was never really possible. Places I lived, we talked about earlier, like Saudi Arabia, the imams were typically funded by the government. These were like government jobs. Masjids were covered by the government. You were not seeing fundraising and things like this necessarily being a part of it. You'd pay your zakat to an agency. Now, there was some obvious improprieties occasionally in that, but you didn't have the opportunity like you do, in the West. Because in the West, we don't get government-funded churches or masjids. You have to raise money from somewhere. So the grift has always been to use the masjid project. Get money for the masjid, get money for this. And then you find out, a tenth of the money actually goes to the masjid. This is another one of these type of people. These are people who are out there to make money. So tonight we're going to cover, in light of what happened in the past week, the first one, I believe, and like I said, I'll make my case today that he is the first category, the agent slash grifter. You can be both. And keep in mind, years ago when I covered the RAND Corporation, the RAND Corporation was a think tank. We got to set the stage here. They published papers in 2005, 2006, and they called for a moderate Islam. Now, what they meant by moderate Islam was what we could think when you hear the term moderate Islam. It means just Islam that no one's following. Islam is just something you occasionally, and some I do. I go pray occasionally and stuff like that. No big deal. It's not a part of the life. It's not following the will of your creator. It's not following the example of the Prophet ﷺ and the companions. It is basically, just simply just something you do for fun on the weekend. Or once a night, I might go show up and I go pray. They wanted the messaging. They started giving out bonuses to masjids for LGBTQ and feminist teachings and things like that. They were Muslim 2.0. This was the launch of it. The agenda was to get imams and figures and place them in positions of prominence to moderate or modernize, you can say, as they love that word modern as if it's something good, to modernize the religion of Islam. Now, it goes both ways, and we're going to explore that too. We're going to show how sometimes they do this. The other times they go the opposite direction, where they make Muslims hated to cause rift and division inside the society, by putting out certain people who are very low profile, very vulgar, very confrontational, exposing the worst of the religion. You see all those things as well. This individual we're going to cover tonight, he kind of encompasses both. He actually is serving both purposes simultaneously. And we are going to see exactly what that is. So let's turn our attention, shall we, to Sneako. I've mentioned this gentleman always in a tongue-in-cheek type of manner on this program numerous times. I've often portrayed him as a joke because in many ways he is, but is also very dangerous individual for our children, for our teenagers, and also for public perception, as we are going to see. He made a huge Huge flash, as I mentioned in the opening last week, as we got off this program. Saturday morning, I'm going through and seeing what's going on, and there it is. And we're going to talk about exactly what he did as we get on there in a minute. So I said I had warned that there was something deeper in his presence, and that he struck me ultimately as an agent, as someone who is doing this for a job and is getting tremendously wealthy off of doing this for a job. So let's explore this gentleman and see if he ticks the boxes as we start progressing here of the Muslim 2.0 Rand Corporation agenda, as well as the second part of that, causing division, hatred, misrepresenting Islam and its teachings, and overall causing what they want ultimately is conflict. They want a civil war. They want, not just with Muslims, but in general, racial clashes. Zionists thrive in environments where you see this. This is how they rule. They divide and conquer. They put different people in with the immigration agenda, and then they launch the propaganda against both sides equally to whip up hatred. And Islam has been in the crosshairs for quite some time now in the recent times. This has gone as far as the president of the United States and numerous others, and we're going to look at those as we move on. So Mr. Nicholas Ken D. Balafanzi, I don't know if I pronounced that last name correctly, is the real name of this individual, born on September the 8th, 1998. As usual, these people, little is known about his background. We know from what he said and what official sources that his father was Haitian and his mother was Filipino. You can see the Asiatic features on him. Not so much a lot of the African features of him, needless to say. I mean, if you look at the gentleman, you would say maybe it's a smaller percent. It doesn't look like a biracial. Usually when someone mixes with someone of African origin, African genes are dominant genes. They show up more. You see it in the hair, the facial features, skin tone, and things like that. Typically when Africans mate with Asians, Far East Asians, usually the child looks majority black. Like if you have someone who mixes Caucasian, white, African, usually they do come out as almost like a perfect mix in a way. Their hair is a little bit more straighter. They got a kind of mixture of skin tone, like a brown caramel type color. But usually when you see someone of Asiatic descent mixing with African, usually the African genes really are more prominent. And in this gentleman's case, that's just not there. And it makes sense when you listen to what he said. He said numerous times on camera when he was surrounded by Jewish audiences that he's part Jewish. And he's joked on this with Aiden Ross, who's another one of these people, very big streamer. Sneako has said, "Oh, well, I'm Jewish, like you. I got Jewish in me." And then later he'll go back and retract it. Then he'll say it again, later. So again, we don't know much. There's not much when you try to dig up his background of anything dealing with this guy pre his internet age. We do know that several people have said who knew him that his family was tremendously wealthy, that he came from money. And this is always, again, one of the signs of these people. They recruit for these positions in social media, media entertainment, influencers, if you will. They recruit from wealthy families. These are people basically who a lot of times have relations. They're more trustworthy. They're not going to go out to the gutters and recruit the lowest members economically of society. No, they're going to go after, a lot of times, the upper middle class to the wealthy, the tremendously wealthy, and use those people for the mission. Again, we don't know much. We just know by what people have said, by what he has said. He even recently was called out on this, and first he denied it, and then I guess he forgot he denied it, and then later on he said, "Yeah, we did." It's like, come on. I mean, you're on camera. The camera's eternal. People can always rewind and go back. But he has mentioned the Jewish aspect many times. And he's proud to say that. Then he'll come back, no, I'm Haitian and I am Filipino. So again, what is it? Mr. Sneako. So he began his YouTube career doing harmless things, such as video games and films. And then something interesting happened. He paired up with a gentleman who's gone on to break view count records in the YouTube world. He's now the #1 in history. Goes by the name of Mr. Beast. He peddles candy and snack foods to children. Typically does his show with, now I think it's a lot of game. I don't watch him, but I just hear things here and there. Mr. Beast has promoted an open transgendered person on his show. He's kind of been slipping the liberalism, obviously, in there. And there's just something very disturbing about this guy when you see his eyes and you see his face. It's just something that's just very creepy about this individual. He's been very big for a long time. And him and Sneako, we don't know much about this relationship, how it got going. He was working on his staff or whatnot. He's admitted this. And then it's like after that point, the career just shot straight to the top. There is a massive story here. We don't know exactly all of the details of what it is because it's hidden. But we do know that Mr. Beast is part of the club. He's flashed the Masonic, hand signals and done the gestures, and all the occultic stuff has been found in his work. He is part of this group. They don't let you get big if you're not. If you get big by accident because you're hard work, people happen to tune on to you, they're going to approach you and they're going to bring you in. But I mean, they're not going to allow you to get this big without having their support and backing. It's too dangerous. They can't have somebody who's getting billions of views out there saying something they don't want you to say. If they're going to have you say anything controversial, it's filtered controversy. It's never going to be something that, oh, wow, that might wake people up. So after this, he immediately changes his career track and the ascendancy begins. He starts doing right-wing trolling. He was considering himself a right-winger, even though he was, as I just mentioned, working with open leftists. The first thing, his claim to fame during this period of time, and this is a trend for this gentleman's career, was he started going up to white Americans and offering them money to say racial slurs to black people, to other people, and to the camera. What a great way to start your career. It kind of sets the tone, doesn't it, for where we're going to go with this individual. This is what he was doing. He was out there, here's money, say these racial words on camera. Now, he claims he was doing this because he wants people to get along. Of course, that's what he's going to say. He wants to end racial division by encouraging people who the media is already demonizing as racist to the bone to go out there and reinforce that by saying racial slurs that have histories in this country as being harmful, divisive, things like that. And just trying to, again, whip up anger, whipping up division. You see this right from the beginning with him. Then he goes to his many phases. He started off with an Andrew Tate phase, where he was basically literally an Andrew Tate clone. Everything Andrew Tate would say in a video, boom, here it is. The key themes of that, obviously. Same things with Tate, the masculinity, that men are weak. There's some truth to that, of course. Always there's truth with these guys. They're going to put truth and then they're going to say, okay, yeah, this is reality. We know it, but here's the solution. And they're going to lead you to something that is very destructive for both society and for you as an individual. Andrew Tate's big, obviously, his whole shtick is the masculinity, that you have to be his cheap caricature version of masculinity. Was a pimp, a drug dealer. Andrew Tate literally was a pimp, literally, in the sense. And, he started promoting dating. Men need to be more masculine. The gym culture that we talked about with the looks maxing, that was all there before it became a term. So you got to get in the gym, do this, that. Now, Sneako didn't promote the steroids like some of the recent guys have, but it was still that whole bravado, be an alpha male type of thing, making money. And this started something very key here. Tate did it first. Sneako jumped in on it. And that was this movement that if you're some man who works a 9-to-5 job and supports your family, you are a weak man. You're a pathetic man to be mocked, to be ridiculed. They've done this, both of them, multiple times. Young kids will watch this and be like, my father's a loser. Why am I going to listen to him? Look at Andrew Tate up there. Look at Sneako. Those guys got all the women. They have all the jewelry. They have all the cars. Look at the life they're living. And my father works in a factory as a manager. He is a loser. He's making 6 figures, but he's not a millionaire by 20 like Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate wasn't a millionaire at 20, but Sneako actually was. And again, it's just easy to, everybody's a millionaire. You see this in polls now. Young women think the majority of men are walking around with millions of dollars in a savings account. When reality is millionaires don't get formed 80% of them until they're 51 years old. This is not something normal. Only if you work for the shaitan and you work for the demon is something important, but not for the average man. But again, that's a key underlying theme here, is that, again, all men are a failure if you're not like them. So you have to be like them. Well, how do you be like them? Well, you watch their videos, you copy them, and you pay for Andrew Tate's program. We've covered that on here in the past. It's actually the highest viewing video I'd ever had at that point, up until that time, exposing Andrew Tateism. So you saw the same thing here. Then he started going in, and I started watching him during this period of time because I was like, okay, this guy is someone I need to keep my eye on because they're really marketing him. He's popping up everywhere. Every streamer known to man that was famous was platforming this guy when he was a nobody, getting him up there. Already Mr. Beast was working with him. Then you had Andrew Tate, took him under his wing, was endorsing him. We saw Nick Fuentes, the Hispanic white nationalist Catholic who despises Muslims, who's done several videos. He's turned off all his attention off the Zionists, which used to be his major thing. He had a lot of true things that Nick Fuentes was saying about the Zionists. Now he hardly talks about them at all. It's all about us and how we're the number one threat. It's not the Zionist control of the banking, the media, and all the things that we know are going on. No. It's the Muslims are the main problem. So Nick Fuentes platformed Sneako to get him big. Now, isn't it kind of interesting to everybody out here? You have a white nationalist, and he's calling one of his best friends a guy who's clearly anything but Caucasian or anything but white. This doesn't work that way. It's just not normal to see something like that. But yet we saw it here, and we've seen it with others as well. He would go even on the leftist platforms. They were platforming it. Leftists like Destiny, who is a bisexual, open, as he calls himself, as liberal as you could get. This is a deviant individual. I don't recommend anyone watching him. Some of his open lifestyle is disturbing, to say the least. Sneako was heavily platformed by him, which was opening up that audience to him. You had Piers Morgan, the sweet-talking British journalist who loves talking about taking American guns and preaching how bad we are over here and all these things. Piers Morgan, so you have this level of gentleman, is also giving attention to Sneako. It's like they're saying, watch him, watch him. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing this guy. He was someone, again, I never asked for. He was just there. I started paying attention to him. I started following him. And then in a classic move, and I've talked about this on this platform before, when they really want to put you over the top, what they do is they ban you. They find something and they ban you for it. That gives you immediate, we call it street cred, credibility. Oh my God, look, the Zionists, the establishment, they banned him. They don't want you to see him because he's telling the truth. It's instant credibility. They did it with Alex Jones. We'll talk about him in a little bit later in the absolute debacle of the debate that happened between Sneako and him, just pure smut. Alex Jones was one of the big ones they did this with. They started banning him. So it just got him bigger. Because Andrew Tate, they banned him, got him bigger. Nick Fuentes, they banned him, it got him bigger. When they don't want people to hear your message, they quietly ban you. They don't ban you, then let CNN tell everybody they banned you. No, because they know that it will give attention, unless, of course, that's the desired outcome. They quietly, through the algos, they ban you. They get people not to see your work, not to know you exist. That's how they handle it. Not what they're doing with these guys. They are literally saying, did I tell you about him? Did I tell you about him? Here he is again. Here he is again. Now, what was he banned for? And again, small, silly things. He was banned for anti-Semitic comments that he had made, which were really tame. I mean, he was just talking about banking and control of the media and Palestine things on a surface level, of course. He was talking about the COVID vaccines. They said it was basically a misogynistic, comments. And if they really cared about that one, there wouldn't be a single rap video on YouTube. But we know YouTube is full of rap videos, and they try to make it seem like they're trying to do public service here. Of course, again, attention, but they've never banned anyone for misogyny. Or they would, like I said, take down every rap music video, every single, rock video from the 80s that was singing about women in a sexual way. All that stuff would be banned. But of course, that doesn't happen. Well, after they banned him, Guess what happened? He signed a contract with Kick. They gave this guy $8 million a year to do videos. $8 million a year. He does streams. He gets paid $8 million. It's not all the money he's making. That's just from talking on his terrible, mindless show. $8 million a year he gets for that. Now, if they really wanted to silence this individual, they're certainly doing a very terrible job, aren't they? So, and I had predicted this. When Tate went and said he took his Shahada, and we started hearing Andrew Tate talking about what a good Muslim he was becoming, and Andrew Tate famously said that he didn't go a day without reading the Quran, and while he's in his underwear with his shirt off and talking about transgenders and all the other stuff he was doing, Andrew Tate came first. He converted to Islam. This guy was right behind him, and this was that movement I talked about in the opening, where we saw all these mysterious conversions of some of the most wretched people in society with terrible character were converting to Islam. Now, we, of course, believe as Muslims that Islam changes the heart for those who sincerely agree. So we should initially never discount someone's, I mean, the worst of people can be changed by Allah's will. That is obvious. But you never turn your eye to who they were in the past. You always want to keep an eye out for them and see, has the behavior changed? And obviously, as we're going to see here, it did not change. In fact, it got much worse. So as he converted, there came the other side. We already saw it before from King Liberal Destiny. We saw it from the white nationalist Nick Fuentes. We saw it from Tate. We saw it from Piers Morgan. When he started doing this stuff, getting white people to say racial slurs, and he started his shtick, they all platformed him to get it famous. So he became Muslim. And what happened? All the Muslims then turned right around. These same people who were already in the game first, the same agenda, they decided, okay, you're going to be platformed by us, and we're going to introduce you and unveil you to a Muslim audience. So the first one that did this was a gentleman. I've mentioned him a couple of times. I'll mention him again here. A gentleman goes by the name of Sheikh Uthman ibn Farouk. This individual is the same guy that staged a hate crime in San Diego. Sheikh Uthman claimed, and he had it on video, live for the whole world to see, he was stabbed by an angry white Christian. And Sheikh Uthman did the thing, got the money, was a victim. All the Muslim apologists didn't question the narrative. They rushed right to him. And what was found out? There was no such thing. It never happened. The police have no reports, no arrest records. Somebody just can't stab you in the United States of America. I don't know. I can't speak on the laws in Germany or Russia or China. I've never lived there. But the United States, whether I want to press charges or not, if someone stabs me and it's on camera, there's going to, whether I want to press charges or not, the police, this is a crime. They are going to come in. They are going to do an investigation. The police treated this like professional wrestling, literally. Like you watch professional wrestling, you'll have guys running each other over with cars. The guy throws a guy off the roof. I mean, you've seen everything in the world of professional wrestling. You're talking about Donald Trump's experiences there a few weeks ago. Because in professional wrestling world, anything goes. It's all comedy, it's entertainment. Never the police obviously investigate anything. They know it's a show. That's exactly what happened here. So we know this gentleman was lying through his teeth. He made this up. And again, why? And we'll keep that in mind as we run to our close later. Why did he do this? What is the agenda? What is going on? It's going to become clear as we build up. Muhammad Hijab would come out and feature Sneako immediately, multiple times. This is where you had the famous outburst where Muhammad Hijab famously said, Isa, son of Maryam, as he was depicted in the New Testament, was worse of a role model than Andrew Tate. And that clip went viral. Sneako sat there and laughed. He thought it was funny. You know that, I mean, even as Muslims, we obviously believe there were some alterations in the message of Isa, son of Maryam. We know that there was distortions. We know those books are not credible. But we do believe there is some truth to be found in those books. They didn't completely distort his message. And even if there was 1% of Jesus, son of Mary, in those books that is true, to compare a messenger of Allah to Andrew Tate, this is a prominent Muslim influencer. This is someone who people turn to for guidance. And he's saying that this guy, it's Andrew Tate, is better. And he was saying it's because the Jesus of the New Testament was weak. He was soft. Andrew Tate is masculine. Andrew Tate is macho. He'll beat you up. He's got money. He's got women. What a better role model he is. And Sneako is there eating it up. And this, again, these are the people who are platforming him. So the same, not just about Sneako. It's about these guys as well, who we are watching, who we are giving our trust to, because there's some highly, highly questionable things going on here. During this period of time, I started really turning my radar onto him. I didn't like watching him because it was mostly low IQ nonsense, but I wanted to know what he was up to. So I would try to find clips and only have to watch 20 minutes of this junk to stomach it. And there were several incidents which was very clear for the Muslim 2.0 agenda. Sneako famously mocked Islam's ban on riba and mortgages. He was talking to Myron, the host of the Fresh and Trash that comes on, which is nothing but half-naked women acting like what half-naked women would act like. I mean, just use your imagination. It's nothing even more than that. Every show is literally the same. You get 10 half-naked women, modern degenerates, and they talk. And then the host will insult them. It's just pure low IQ garbage. Well, Sneako was working with him, and he was telling him, well, in Islam, you can't get into real estate, and you can't do mortgages. And Sneako's like, what? What is this? How? Why? Why can't I make money off real estate? Why can't I make money with riba? And it was making fun of the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just openly doing this. And again, this is for the narrative, the Muslim 2.0. Young Muslims see this. Yeah, you know what? He's right. Why can't I make money ripping people off with riba? Everybody else is doing it. It's normal in the society. He would keep on doing things like this. Oh, wait, in Islam, I can't do this. I can't do this. He's like kind of like screaming almost. It's like a parody of what you'd expect some Christian to mock us with, like a David Wood production or something to that effect. This was live, on his stream. He had girls kissing, in the back while he was talking about the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam on the camera. He was defending the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam with two women making out, as he called it, in the back. And all the time we heard people like Muhammad Hijab and Sheikh Uthman. You just got to understand the brother is new. I weren't expecting him to make a fiqh ruling on praying to jinn or can you do tawaf around the grave. No one was expecting that. No one was expecting him to be into advanced fiqh. We were expecting him to understand first page Islam. These are not things you have to go deeply on. These are open things that are haram in our religion. You don't have to read much of the Quran. You can read Surah Baqarah and almost all the law, all the morality is encoded within that particular surah. You don't have to go far in. This is a man that claimed he read the Quran multiple times and yet continuing to act surprised. It's all for theater, to kind of show what a revert would go through. Oh, how bad this religion is. Look at all these things. They're fun that I can't do. Why did I choose this? And then he kind of changed a little bit and got a little bit more serious, which is in. But he's been caught even recently on camera drinking alcohol in clubs multiple times. He's been reported by people who've done streams with him and associated with him that he's still engaging in zina. He's still engaging, in alcohol. And all these things, again, they were, I said, it was something that's, it's there. We let people know about it. I did, but it wasn't dark yet, until we started getting into recent times. He started using Islam to incite racial hatred against whites and Westerners. This became kind of a point of his message. We saw this, as I mentioned, to come back to it, with what Sheikh Uthman did was the same thing. Sheikh Uthman was trying to present an image to Muslims that white male Christians in the United States want to kill you. Sneako's going off to white male Christians and indirectly saying Muslims are here to take you over. So what you're doing is you're going on both sides here and you're whipping up anger. He started doing the prayers in the street. He was heavily involved in that, which again was poking the bear. It was about this antagonism, this angering of the New York community. People are trying to walk in Times Square. You've got these guys, people don't understand the religion. They know nothing about the religion. And their first experience with it, outside of what they're seeing on the YouTube, is this. You know, it is, oh, these guys are blocking the road. They're being rude to me. That's this guy that Sneako pals around with, the Warner. He was threatening different Christians on the street. It was on camera. So this is probably, maybe could possibly be their first experience with a Muslim, with Islam. And this is what they got. And we've already covered at length here how the prohibitions on praying in the streets, and all these guys are doing it. This clown, the Warner, who's another guy that just popped up out of nowhere, very abrasive, very ignorant, low IQ individual. He comes out and he's doing the Salah for Talawi while he's text messaging. This got made because a Christian actually filmed it from a distance, showing what a hypocrite, what a phony. He's Rhea. He's showing off. He's praying for that purpose, but he's pulling out his mobile phone and texting and smiling to whoever he's texting to while he's supposed to be engaged in Salah. They filmed the Salah for the purposes of showing off. Look, we got those kuffar. We prayed and angered them in Times Square. It was totally a show, a demonstration. Look, we're taking over your neighborhood. We're here to kick you out. That's the message that came across because that's the message they wanted to come across. And when you ask them, oh, no, what's wrong with praying Salah? The Jews do it. This group does it. That's for one starter is not true. Now, Jews do have celebrations I'm against that do go on there, but not to this scale where they're blocking entire sections of the road. And usually the Jews stay to themselves. They're not actually angering or antagonizing people. Now, what they're commemorating and celebrating and promoting is something quite different. But you get my point. So he openly advocated, again, also for the election. He was promoting the racist, communist Zohar Mamdani. Zohar Mamdani this week, in fact, into last week, I'm sorry, he just released 7,000 criminals, as I said he was going to do. I said this guy wants to empty out the jails, and with the support that he has, it's how he's where he is. He's part of the team too. They want to destabilize the society. Who would want to let 7,000 criminal illegal aliens roam free? Well, Zohar Mamdani and the people like Sneako who support him. So you got 7,000 of these guys. 2,500 of them were convicted of assault out of this 7,000, 300 of robbery, 200 of burglary, and numerous sexual assaults, about 30, I think it was last I checked. So you're letting out bad individuals who roam the streets of New York. They already have no bail in New York. You can just get out of jail, boom, cash-free bail, right back out there. We'll trust you to show up in court. Let's see if you do. And this is what he was, calling for. So where did he get to? Well, last week, during the whole fiasco of this World Cup tournament, he was surrounded by who's wearing a Moroccan jersey, surrounded by Moroccan youth, very aggressive, angry. These are the same Moroccan youth that are doing irreparable damage to Islam all around the world at this point. If you're Moroccan and watching this, we're not talking about you. There are many good Moroccans out there. Always got to preface that in, but there is a huge segment of this demographic that has been destroying cities over the last 2 weeks. Every time Morocco wins, or if they lose, they're out there attacking police. They beat up a French guy for wearing a French jersey in his country. They were rioting in London last night following the Moroccan defeat, in the World Cup. These people have caused nothing but problems. You're seeing even immigrants, like as well as the whites in Europe, being attacked by these people. Most people in Europe, when asked, do you want them out? They all say, please deport them all. We're talking about Turkish individuals. We're talking about Syrian individuals or immigrants into Europe. We're talking about the European immigrants. And Sneako is surrounded by a group of these guys in the back, all making very violent, aggressive gestures. And he declared that New York City was officially conquered and that it was Islamic territory. And all knees will bow. He's doing a play on the Christians here. He went on to say the name of Zohran Mamdani as a battle cry during this video. Mamdani, Mamdani, like this was some kind of Islamic hero. And we covered Zohran Mamdani, the former rapper, just a degenerate, low-life, liberal individual who 95% of the Muslims in New York, largely Moroccan community up there, Egyptian as well, voted for this individual, this pig. And he's using him as a battle cry to rally Muslims. A guy that is supporting the LGBTQ agenda, a guy that is openly called for selective taxation on people on the basis of their skin color. This is an Islamic hero, this clown. This guy's never made a salah in his life. His wife's made racial comments about African Americans. It's all up for the world to see. I mean, these are not good people. He's chanting for that. And he proceeds to call New Yorkistan, that we are in New Yorkistan, the land of Madani. And he does this, throat slitting gesture. This is a very welcoming video, isn't it? Just makes people all across America go, wow, I want to meet those people. I want to socialize with those people. I want those people in my community. These guys are just great moral example, aren't they? The opposite of what a Muslim is supposed to be is being shown by these Moroccan youths and this paid agent, here in this video. And he again, this calls Elon Musk. Elon Musk, as you know, he's basically has a value now when all assets included, the valuation stock is worth close to $1 trillion or over $1 trillion at this point. Elon Musk is not the guy from the local masjid. He's not the guy from the local pub. He's not the guy from the local church. He's not the guy in your office that you talk to around the coffee pot in the morning. This is Elon Musk. This is a massive name with billions of people on this earth know who he is. And Elon Musk is showing this video. Goes back to what I talked about earlier. They are more than willing to make sure you see and know who these individuals are. Now, Sneako, of course, went off and played the victim, on this. But Elon Musk is like, look, this is what the Muslims are. They should be deported. They hate America. They hate the American people. They're here to rape your daughter, and all that usual stuff started circulating at this point. Because that's exactly, no one in their right mind would say, if we made a video like this and did a throat slit gesture at the end of it. This is a gesture that is even banned in professional sports. And what is a stereotype the Zionists always say about Muslims? They're here to rape, they're here to kill, and they're here to cut your heads off. You see the most comical stories made up by the Zionist media. I even heard one recently that they cut the women in half in Iran. I mean, they cut their heads off, then they saw the women in half. I mean, how ridiculous is that? There is never one example of evidence to support any of this. It is a lying stereotype. And then you've got this guy going out there doing this, like implying that's what we're going to do to you, you Americans. We're going to cut your heads off. And it's just all those Americans who didn't believe it maybe before, they were kind of on the fence. They're going to look at that and go, you know what? There's a Muslim right there doing it. Maybe that Zionist media that lied about everything else, they're telling the truth here. It's a very, very powerful optic. And this is, again, why he's in the position he's in. This is why he's promoted the way that he is. You have the talking heads in the media. The president of the United States made anti-Muslim tweets this week. You have your politicians have been making anti-Muslim comments for the last 6 months, really. One guy compares, he'd rather have a dog, than a Muslim. They have animals around. They compared Muslims to animals and all these things. And then now the richest man in the world in terms of paper value, there's people much more wealthier, than him. Well, yeah, here we go. This is actually, Sister Layla is playing it now. The video clip that we are referring to. It's actually quite long here, but this is what we're talking about there. So on one hand, you have phony Muslims trying to encourage hate on us. Then you have phony fake Muslims faking hate crimes to make other people, make the Muslims hate the Christians. You have all of this, going on from the same group. And like I said, they all work together. He's played damage control. he's going around, he's doing shows, claiming that he said, inshallah, everyone will be Muslim, which he did in one part there. He did say inshallah, but then he does a throat slitting gesture. He does all the other things that he had done in that video. But he's trying to pretend like he's innocent. Everybody saw it. Everybody knows what he is promoting. And it has gotten viral to viral when the most wealthiest man in the world and the president of the United States are actually talking about it. It is massive. So again, is Zohran Mamdani promoting this thing? He talked about how he's on a crusade to save everyone. Because see, on my platform, Sister Leila's platform, I want Westerners of my culture to watch our shows. I want them to see that we are not the bad guy. I want them to see that Islam offers liberation from riba, from financial usury. Islam offers liberation from among the sexes, disunity. Islam brings structure and purpose into your life. It brings you closer to the Creator. That's the message. That's what needs to get out. We are not here as an enemy. And he claims that he's doing that. But this is the way that you go about it. Obviously, he's playing double speak here. Because is Zohran Mamdani promoting this message of getting away from Western decadence? I think we know the answer to that. He just released 7,000 criminals. Zohran Mamdani has been nothing but a antagonist for the New York non-ethnic minority community. He's saying that his name is unifying people. Is Zohran Mamdani unifying people? Is he bringing people together? Are those angry Moroccans and other groups I talked about that burned down London and Germany last night, who are basically racist to the bone? Germany's done nothing to Morocco. England has done. They have grievances with, the French. There are historical grievances there, but what has Germany done to them? What has basically the Netherlands done to them? What they say they're not being treated well enough. They're not this or that. So you go burn down a city and attack innocent people over a soccer match. We have tons of them here in America. They hate this country. They hate us as well. It's like, this is not the optics that we want. These are young guys. They're into crime. They're listening to gangster rap music. They're doing all of these things. And, you have, again, is this what's being promoted? He's claiming he's promoting in the video. Again, as a throat slitting gesture, promoting peace. So do we say to anyone we're taking over and expect them not to get angry? When you say taking over and Islam will enter every house, how is that going to sound? Again, you got to think through the filter of these people. These are people that, some of them, like I said, they only know us through the Zionist media. So when you're saying Islam is taking over and it's going to enter every house, what is immediately in the mind? A sword, a gun, knocking on the door, convert, take the Shahada or die. Or that's what they believe, because that's what they've been taught. And then you're reinforcing that. Where if someone says Islam will enter every house, God willing, everybody in every home will be praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, free-willed praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everybody will be embracing Islam on their own. They will come to the truth. It's completely different. It comes across way different. You're not going to see Elon Musk using my clips to spur up hate. You can't find anything. It's all here about unifying people. So again, you can't expect that and not get a backlash. Now, if the United States was any decent nation, which it's not, both morally, militarily, if the United States was a decent nation, or any ounce of decency left, these guys will all be arrested for committing treason, threatening to overthrow the government, making terroristic threats. To set an example. But they're not, obviously, because we know that won't happen. We know why. But as I've told young people here before, if there's any young people watching who are liking this guy and disagreeing with me right now, when he was out there on camera a few months ago talking about killing Jews, I had talked about it on here, saying he will do it and he will not go to jail. But you go out there and copy what he's saying, they will make an example out of you. He works for them. He can come out on the camera and talk about driving Jews to the sea and talk about all this other stuff. Nothing will happen to him, and nothing did happen to him. But if you go out there and you copy him and you make a video saying that, they will take your behind to jail. It's a big, big difference. They try to normalize these things through these platforms to get you then to duplicate those behaviors, and then they will punish you. for said behaviors. And it's a game to him, obviously, but it's not a game to us. This is our religion, this is our image, and we've got to do the best that we can to save it. And that's why I come on this platform every week. That's why I've always been on this platform since the beginning. Because when Sheikh Ibrahim met me for the first time, and I told him, I said, I'd love to do something with you. I looked at his face. He was a kind man. I really wanted to get my voice out there because I felt that no one was talking about these things. And I started sharing with him that, what I knew about culture and social media. And I said, I just want to get out there. I don't need any money. I don't want to do anybody for this. I mean, it's not about anything to me, but getting our image the way it should be, getting the truth, out there and cleaning up these lies. Will we ever get as big as him, as Sneako? Absolutely not, because we don't have them on our side promoting us and inviting all the major streamers like Daniel Hakikachu, putting Sneako on like he's some kind of a victim. We don't get that treatment, here because we don't work for the system. They work for the system. The system is going to support them. But for the people who do watch, we hope, inshallah, there has been an awakening that is happening, and we change the way that we view the world. We change the way that we view what supposedly are enemies, and understand why sometimes people dislike you is because of ignorance. They don't have knowledge. It's up to us to give them the knowledge. These people have had their whole lives, as I mentioned earlier, nothing but negative, starting from when I was 21 years old with 9/11. And I remember being out in public that same day while it was endlessly playing on the camera, and I saw an American guy, and he was saying to his girlfriend, he said, "I hope we turn their whole, Arab bleep bleep into a parking lot." And that at the time, I knew that something was off of 9/11. I obviously didn't know much about Islam at the time. I knew they were lying, and I would later investigate 9/11 and found out the whole thing was a sham. But could you blame him if you're an American citizen and you think that there's a religion out there that is trying to kill 3,000 people because they believe they're going to go to heaven, 3,000 innocent people? You're not going to like that religion too much. And that's what started it all, really, because the Zionists and Benjamin Netanyahu said it. He said it famously. He said, I hope this is a good thing. So first he said it was a good thing. This is a good thing because it will show Americans how bad these people basically are. And Muslims had zero to do, with 9/11, zero. And we've seen it time and time again with the phony terrorist attacks, the phony bin Laden videos, all that nonsense that went on with the Yankee Doodle Jihad, as I call it, in Syria, with those guys who were supposedly, hardcore, Orthodox Muslims, and yet they only killed Muslims and Christians. They never attacked the Zionists, go figure. And we've just seen it over 2 decades now. And now it's gone on to this youth social media approach, dehumanizing, discrediting. Because in the end of the day, Islam is their worst nightmare. If Islam thrives, riba dies. If Islam thrives, the pornography industry dies. If Islam thrives, the phony bar scenes and adultery, zina industry dies. Islam will destroy the economy as it currently stands if people are honestly practicing Muslims, and that cannot happen. Psychological war is the way. Physical war is also a part of this, but psychological war on both Muslims and on Christians is the way they're going to do this, and the way they are doing this. Because true Islam would liberate humanity. True Islam would eliminate all these vice industries I just talked about, and that simply cannot happen. And that's why we see what we saw today. And I hope everybody got something out of this, inshallah. And I'm open for any comments or questions. you know, that.
Can you guys hear me now? Can y'all
Yes,
hear
Mr.
me?
Lamb.
Okay, so that's the thing about going back to this program. I got 10 microphones and I don't know which one to use. Okay, let's see. Any comments? Okay, they said yes. One of the sisters here has typed, yes, she was wondering if you were going to speak about what happened in New York. She said she thought it was very atrocious how the throat, especially the slitting. She saw that too. She said that really was somebody else's typing sound off. What do they mean? Can y'all hear me on YouTube?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What about on YouTube? Can somebody join YouTube and tell me if they can hear me there? That's the only thing I got to go back to. Can they hear me on YouTube? Hold on. Let me see if they can hear me. Let me put my phone. Somebody please join YouTube. YouTube, Anissa, YouTube.
I'm lagging on YouTube.
Okay, I need somebody on YouTube.
I'm on YouTube.
You said you're lagging. That's not helping me.
Yeah.
Okay, just
the brother's still talking.
Okay. Let me hold on.
Yeah, while you're working on that point, there's a Christian.
Okay, testing. I hear. Why does it work with me and not nobody else? Okay. Okay, the sister here on YouTube is saying when they did the voice slitting thing that it really was atrocious. She said, in fact, it took a lot of her neighbors back to, as you said, 9/11.
Yep.
She said, and that was a horrific thing.
Absolutely. And we didn't do it, obviously. As I mentioned, it's like we get blamed for what the Zionists decide to detonate some buildings and come up with a narrative, and then it's whatever, 19 Saudi guys allegedly, and they found this. We could do a whole video on that. Maybe one day we will. I'll go through some of the architectural aspects of that. But yeah, there's a Christian apologist. He goes by the name of David Wood. He is a massive following. David Wood made a series years ago called Islamicize, and he put an episode out every day in Ramadan. And the series was nothing but smut, trash, misinterpreting hadiths, and mocking, Muslims. And when I saw Sneako do that, I'm like, this is something David Wood couldn't have even come up with better, because this is all David Wood's career is. He never talks about why he's a Christian. It's always Islam, Islam, Islam. Literally, within minutes, David Wood was already on this. Like, he knew it was going to happen. He should back quick. You had all the usual anti-Islam guys in the media that for a living just do nothing but bash Muslims. They go by the name of Brother Rashid. He is a former Moroccan turned Christian. He was on it. There's a gentleman named Ridvan, the apostate prophet. He was on it. Within seconds, these guys pounced on this. They did whole shows on it. And as the sister said, it's about taking us back to that point. You are making the Zionist stereotype that you're claiming your work is to wake people up to Islam, but then you're giving them the caricature, lying version of Islam that the Zionists have promoted for the last 20 years. The bloodthirsty Muslim who, I gotta kill a kuffar today. And it's this cartoonish reality nonsense that is antithetical to everything Islam stands for.
Okay, there's another comment here from another brother. He says, unfortunately, it's all about the numbers. It's all about the views. It's all about the subscribers on social media. He said, knowing that these new converts to Islam, they have the wrong teachings, the wrong ideology of Islam. Why is it that famous, popular brothers, instead of teaching these brothers the correct Islam, they rather have these brothers on their platforms to boost up their ratings? And unfortunately, our Muslim youth think that these brothers are celebrities and worship them.
Absolutely, and that's the problem. And like I highlighted earlier, like Muhammad Hijab, I don't believe Muhammad Hijab is an agent. I don't believe Muhammad Hijab is. I think in his heart he is a Muslim. I think he was seduced by fame, and I think that it became something that we've seen evidence of some of his unfortunate incidents in his private life. When you got people like Sheikh Uthman, however, who platformed Sneako immediately, this is, like I said, this guy lied. He faked a hate crime. The police treated the stabbing like it was something in a WWE ring. I mean, oh, that's that guy. He's an entertainer online. But he's trying to create an optic that white Christians are here to kill you. Just like they're trying to create an optic to white Christians, Muslims are going to kill you. It's like it's both ways. Most of these influencers, like I said, are all on the take. You know, there are some, the ones that are good, that are genuine, you're not knowing their names. They're very obscure. Even guys that I followed in the early days when I converted, gentlemen like Shabir Ali, he's a Pakistani who lives in Canada, Canadian citizenship. Shabir Ali changed. When I first started watching Shabir Ali, he was doing a lot of good Islamic content. He was instrumental, actually, in his videos in getting me to convert back in 2008, 2009. Then Shabir Ali started doing pro-LGBTQ stuff. So that's the seduced by the fame and the money that you're getting and the opportunities and doors that are opening for you. A lot of them are that. You know, a lot of them, like this Sneako guy, are pure agents. I mean, everything about Sneako's life and social media has been orchestrated and planned. That's what I wanted to show today. I wanted to show the build-up, how he was platformed before he was Muslim by all the prominent streamers. And then once he became Muslim, all the prominent Muslim streamers platformed him. All of them are connected. They all work together. Nick Fuentes used to call him one of his best friends, as I mentioned before. It's kind of interesting to have a Catholic nationalist, Catholic white nationalist, is loving basically a half Haitian, half Filipino, part Jewish, as Sneako's own admission, Muslim. As a friend, it's a contradiction. You know, it's like a Muslim saying my best friend's a Satanist. I mean, it just doesn't go together. It doesn't make sense. You couldn't be. They're two opposite, opposing, conflicting ideologies because it's all business. And controlling the minds of the people is the ultimate prize.
Okay, any other comments? Go ahead, Brother Ahmed.
Yeah.
Or whoever it was, go ahead. I couldn't tell.
It's me. It's me. Yeah, you mentioned you're wondering, why do people want to dress the way they want to dress? Well, as a Muslim woman or sister, we take pride in making sure our shapes are not shown. Shaitan loves to see the shapes of the bodies. He loves that. He watches a little baby. As soon as the little baby comes out of the womb, he's watching the rear end already. So that's in us. That's a criminal nature that we got. And then those women who don't want to dress like the Muslim sisters, they, like you mentioned, the Mother Mary, how she dressed. Oh, they don't even see that. They don't see that dress at all. No. Even the priests cover up completely. They wear long gowns and robes and all of that. They don't even see that because they are so interested in seeing how their body shapes are in the clothing. So the clothing in the world is designed for the people of the world.
And we're going to tackle next week a woman goes by the name of Lily J. We're going to talk about her next week. She's basically a grifter that has come into the Muslim community, a white woman with originally hair dark as mine, who has dyed her hair blonde, seducing Arab and Asian men into her trap, and is normalizing Muslim women, because these Muslim women are going to see, well, these revert girls are coming in, and all the men are giving them all these compliments and all this attention. You know, they're going to start feeling inadequate about themselves. And we're going to explore that next week with how the men in our community are rewarding the women, the phony women who are dressing this way, to the detriment of the good sisters out there who deserve their attention and respect. And it encourages women to start dressing. Well, what do I have to do to get a guy to like me, want to marry me? Well, I have to be like Lily J, or I have to be like this other revert that got 1 million views on Twitter with 1,000 Arab men saying, please marry me. It happens all the time.
The female devil, when they should have been lowering their gaze. Yep, that hadith of Sahih Muslim.
Yep.
Yep.
And you see all the comments on Lily J when she first came out will be these, I can hear the accent, will you marry me?
It's all for men, because the men bit the kryptonite that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said Allah leaves on earth for them, which is a non-mahram woman. A non-mahram woman with the kickstand for a leg, the fake eyes, the fake hair, the fake everything.
Oh, absolutely. This woman, her whole face has been restructured multiple times, and she looks like a monster to me.
Yeah, and the voice.
The voice
and her voice is fake too. She's speaking
And she just
nothing
got
but gibberish.
busted. Yeah, she got busted for phony charities. We're going to cover that next week and show the female aspect of infiltration into Muslim circles and social media. So you're seeing prominent influencers, particularly white Western women, are coming in and taking advantage of the fact that a lot of these Arab men, they just find white women irresistible.
Yeah.
And they just listen to everything they say.
The prophet said, I never seen a white woman before, and the prophet said they will be your downfall. Sahih Muslim. Everything that's happening, the prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said would happen. Yep.
So they lose their mind. Oh, it's a white woman who's Muslim, and marry me. Here's money, marry me. It's like, you listen to everything they say, hook, line, sinker.
Yep. Female devil. Yep. Okay, guys, this was a very good, as usual. Make sure you guys are here every Friday. Brother Youssef has become the second most popular lecture here on Sunnah Followers, besides after my classes, because he keeps the news real and it relates to what's happening, what impacts us as an ummah. And that's the key that these other brothers need to remember. Whatever they talk about, they have to make it relate to this ummah. And that's why how I think Dr. McBride has dropped down to the lowest ratings, because it's not relating to us. It has to relate to the ummah, the ummah, the ummah, the ummah. That's the key to keeping it here at Sunnah Followers. Okay, guys, the next thing we have is My Islam Q&A. Any questions you have, bring them. And our topic for tonight is going to be how social media has destroyed the females of this nation. Talk about the female devils. Oh, yeah, the female devils. How we have become real devils. Okay, and we're going to talk about that tonight at 9:30, especially with the TikTokers, since I'm on there doing jihad every night. I got my battle scars. Oh boy, and do they hurt. I've been soaking. So make sure everybody is here when I put the shorts out tonight, or tomorrow. When I put the shorts out tomorrow for Brother Youssef's, please make sure you continue to share them like you guys are doing to all your friends and your families and your social platforms. I want to thank everybody for joining and participating. Yes, this was very good, Sister Amira. Make sure you share it on to the sisters there in Australia too. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. I'll see you guys inshallah in an hour. Make sure you guys are here. Good job, Brother Youssef. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.